We're good with recording? We're recording. Great. All right, so we're ready for the hearing, minutes, the agenda, Tom, is that, you have, I just can't see it, so that's in there. It's minutes first, but. First agenda item is to review the minutes from 7/23/2025. Did we have a chance to do that?
View online. I have no changes to make to it.
So no one has any amendments to the minutes? I entertain a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll make the motion. I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I'm an abstention too. All right, first application, 2490 S, by Allen, plat review, 2 lots, draft plan shows 1 lot. 2492 S, this one. This is 97 Crochet Farm Road. No, it's 2494. 2492. Yep. There we go. 1365 North Wolcott Road. Current applicant, Allen, parcel owner, Vernon Allen. Project description, subdividing a 3.2 acre lot from an existing 75 acre lot. The requested 3.2 acre lot has a building permit and construction is underway. Who do we have here for? Anybody else speaking on this application? Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge and the pains and penalties of perjury? Yep. Okay. You want to add anything to what I read, or I kind of got the gist of it there? That's not all of words.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
And this is the map we're looking at right here. Did you get a chance to look at this one? Okay.
So this is kind of similar to one we were reviewing. Footage for that is more than.
This is less than 150 feet right here.
Well, I don't know.
Oh,
This is this here
It should have about 300 and some odd feet of road frontage.
on the north end.
On
on lot number 3. There's lot number 2.
all of them. Road.
Yeah. So yeah, it's probably. Yeah, we're inferring. That probably is about 300 feet there. And maybe another 100 here between those 2 lots.
Yeah.
That's kind of the problems with
The remaining 70 acres has about 3,000 feet of frontage on West Hill.
okay, yep, that's true, right up here. Yeah,
So that's outside of the part.
yeah.
And there's no improvements on the lot yet on either of them.
Power and septic and foundation and shell.
That's what they were split. This law is about this, they got the permit for this law, construction started.
Oh, right.
That's on lot 4, right? That's the construction started.
I also own Ray Fund. Wow.
Which is just south of the lot 4.
Yeah.
So right here.
I actually think my remaining land has about 300 feet of frontage also on our border.
Yes, yeah,
There's quite a bit of footage on the road.
yeah.
So looking at this, I mean, it has all of the requirements as far as I can see. We are just looking for utilities, right? To save the list, I mean, we've got, you know, like the scale, abutting landowners are,
On this one, there isn't any. On the larger plot, there is, but on this small one, you own everything around it.
Across the street or something.
I mean, this right here.
Because across the street counts as a bunch.
True. So the abutting landowner, just the only ones we need is across the street. And then just any existing utilities.
We don't need the others for this one.
I'm trying to remember what we did on the last one. We had a big lot and a smaller lot inside
I
it.
think in the past, we've made them with the larger.
On this map, not on this map, right?
Actually, on the Dwyer, the Judkins one, we had them. I don't think we made them put it on the map. I think they supplied us a list
A list.
with lot numbers, span numbers, or whatever it was that however Tom identifies the lots.
Because there were a lot of lots around.
Yeah, kind of like this one. That sounds reasonable. Considering not, you only have five ones across the road. So yeah, I guess if we just had the list of abutting landowners. This one listed somehow, I mean, if that this one. Right? And then just utilities. That's the only thing that's missing, right?
Overhead utilities.
Utilities, the power is coming off of Fleming Farm.
This is utilities right there. Considering how this is what I would consider a very minor subdivision, I would move that we waive the requirement for showing the utilities on the parcel itself. Existing, right? Have you put the utilities on that property already? So
Well, there was
The holes.
there was a house on Fleming Farm, power's coming from there to Levi's.
well, some of these requirements are like what Act 250 would require. So kind of a well, I mean, a larger subdivision. You know, something between 6 and 8 lots. But that's just my opinion. Do we need septic well?
It depends. I mean, if you're looking at subdivision plat review, you know, here's the list, the map with the arrow and scale and that stuff, abutting landowners. Existing, you know. Wastewater, power,
I think it wants proposed as well.
it does.
There is a wastewater permit for the new building.
Should be recorded.
In here.
So
But this is the road, the driveway you're talking about.
arrow. So. Sure what that is.
Something to do with the scale. 1 inch equals 40 feet, but then there's a 4,400.
And the information that we're asking for is all recorded in other places. The proposed wastewater permit is recorded here at the town and at the state level. The abutting landowners is recorded here at the town and at the state level. It's in our plat review about.
Yeah, I mean, the abutters list is sort of right in here already.
Right.
I guess my question would be if, you know, there is a waiver granted for utilities on the site. What's the delineation moving forward on what constitutes, you know, what grants a waiver? Is it like lot size or is it
Numbers of lots.
numbers of lots?
Well, and in my view as well, when we're talking about systems that are gonna use that section 301 clean slate exemption, the grandfathered systems, those should be drawn somewhere because they're not approximated somewhere, because those aren't recorded at the state level. But this new one has had a site tech come out, it has a state stamp of approval on it. It has had a survey, and that's recorded at A&R. Like I said, those grandfathered systems, we should probably be a little bit more strict about so that we have an idea of where they are. If an idea is known.
So there must be a purpose why all these requirements are here.
They're kind of boilerplate that was stuck in there.
Yeah,
Basically,
I mean-
it's never been changed.
Yeah.
So is there no reason somebody would need to come look at this and then not, like, then have all the information in one spot rather than go to A&R, go to like 15 different places? Isn't that kind of the point, is to have this on file here? With this checklist on it?
Yeah.
So if we exempt it, are we like shooting somebody in the foot down the road, you know, 20 years from now?
Well, if we grant a waiver, it has to, it would pertain to anything moving forward, but within the parameters that the waiver was granted.
Just a suggestion.
It's an excellent suggestion.
We will have to address that at some point.
I was thinking about the times that we've come across information that was incomplete. That got filed. So.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. Like, generation from now, somebody comes in here for this info. So, are we, by doing that, are we dragging this out? That's kind of the point. To prevent that.
It just depends on how quick that, you know, the required items can be added to the plat.
This list is published, right? So surveyors have access to that.
Oh, yeah.
The short list of butters across the road, are drawn.
Power on site. And then concrete. And the driveway, I guess. I think that's it. I don't think we've seen this. No, I don't know. Scales on here. Registered surveyor stamp.
So, not to drag this out or anything like that, but if somebody were to come in here and say, I want to subdivide 3 acres off my 75 acres, but I'm not building on it, what would we require? And then, once they get their subdivision permit, I mean, we wouldn't require utility lines, we wouldn't require the well or the septic or anything. We'd give them a subdivision permit, and then they would be free to go to town and get a building permit.
That's true.
That is true, yep.
Well, that's kind of my point in this.
Yeah, it's not as though they amended the Mylar with the wastewater permit.
No, it stays blank, and there's nothing that appears on it. So by having some utilities on there, you're kind of hamstrung into, you know, have to put them on the map, as opposed to if you just have nothing on your lot, and. Yeah,
As far as, you know, the abutting landowners, that's a different story.
which can also change.
Yeah, property changes hands all the time.
I mean, I guess if you look at practicality, we just deal with the snapshot we have at the moment, you know, and that's. I mean, it does say propose it on here, but somebody can easily say. I'm not gonna do anything with the lot for 5 years, and then 3 weeks later, they decide they're going to. And then that's for Tom, you know, and the building permits, he has to deal with.
So, are you planning on waiving all the regulations? Is that?
But the pertinent regulations, the road frontage, the lot shape, the lot size. It just seems like a lot of requirements for a simple subdivision.
And we're saying that if you have no utilities on the lot. But then 2 weeks later, you put them in there, the person that already had the utilities existing has to list them on the plat.
And I mean, as far as utilities go, the only one that we're missing is the wastewater one, because the overhead power lines are drawn. That's what that dotted line is, right? And there's a utility pole.
Yeah, the one just along the road.
So the only one that is missing is the line that goes from the service, right, the transformer underground to the new home.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only thing we're truly missing is the wastewater. And a part of the wastewater being the well, the drilled well.
Yeah.
I'm of the mind that if the data exists and is stored in more than one place, I don't believe it needs to be on the Mylar. Like I said, somebody has paid for an engineer to come out here and survey it, stake the septic system out. I don't know if it's installed yet or not, but somebody has paid.
The tanks are installed, but not the leach field.
But the engineer's gonna come out and stake that out to match his plan, and they're gonna have to inspect it. It's all recorded here, it's recorded with the state. The issue still, I mean, for the existing landowners, that issue still exists. Yes, there is a list in there. Our requirements state that we need to have them on the Mylar. We need to deal with that.
I'd be willing to entertain a waiver, but I need very specific language as to, you know, what it pertains to. Just so in the future.
Yeah, I don't know how to word that. Because that would be.
So I kind of don't understand what you're missing there.
Well,
That's the way permit I got 20 years ago. The power is coming off my property, which is still all my property. The septic was recorded up here. Survey is recorded up here. So I guess I'm kind of missing.
Basically, there's a list of requirements that we just basically see on the map. Utilities, right? Power, water, well, wastewater and driveway are kind of on the list, and so we get that they're recorded, like the state has recorded the wastewater, but it's not on this map. Yes, it exists somewhere. We're kind of obligated to follow the bylaws that we're reading. We can grant waivers, but if we grant a waiver for you, everybody moving forward in a similar situation is entitled to that waiver. So the next time we rewrite the bylaws, we're obviously going to look at this, but that's not happening. No, or for years. So we're trying to make it so you don't have to jump through a bunch of hoops. I don't know how difficult it is to get the surveyor to put just the power and the wastewater and the driveway on here, like in terms of your timeline.
Timeline on the subdivision, the only thing I'm worried about. The building is not.
We've done conditional approvals, meaning we approve the subdivision contingent upon, just another map coming with the required elements. So you can walk out of here tonight with us saying yes. As soon as this other stuff's on the map, it's like officially subdivided.
I guess besides spending a few more bucks, it's probably not a big thing. I'm kind of wondering on all landowners if it's an undue expenditure if they have a legal septic drawing where it pertains to on that map or not, as long as it's on your property fully and it's done by a licensed engineer. And the utilities to me, I'm a builder by trade, and the utilities to me, by the way that a lot of these things go now, is some people we've been building for don't even have power. We have a grid system, so I don't care. I can put it on it. I'm just saying, I think it's an undue expense to a property owner just to have to jump through more hoops to be able to do something with their property that they paid for and paying tax on. You would know if you're a property owner that it becomes kind of a nitpicky deal for me after a little bit. I've done a few of these subdivisions, so it's.
I encourage you to sit in on our planning commission meetings when we get to our zoning rewrite and make that known to us, because we are gonna have to go through that and look through this, but to Maxfield's point.
As time goes on, I think it's people get taxed more. I think in some ways, some of this should be made more user friendly than not. And
Find you 100%.
Yep, I agree.
especially if I'm not trying to subdivide a 3 acre lot into 1.5 acres, squeezing the hell out of everything. Got plenty of area around me. But I get some surveyor back.
So these requirements here are basically Act 250 requirements. And the reason why we have them is because we have zoning and subdivision, which allows a landowner in this town to subdivide up to 9 lots without going through subdivision. If we didn't have zoning and subdivision, they could subdivide up to 6. My bar for this would be any subdivision that comes in with up to 6 lots. I'd be waiving most of this. But, that's a deeper discussion.
So as things are written, short list, we need abutting landowners on not just the small lot, but the larger lot as well. We've had to have that done for us with the Judkins property. They had to have not just the abutting landowners on the small parcel that they took out, but on the larger section. We're gonna need at least mention of the wastewater permit number. As long as that exists, I don't really care if it's drawn. to scale at the location, but it needs to reference the wastewater permit number. And, you know, the driveway and the approximate location of the house. Because the house exists, the building permit exists. That's how things are written currently.
Yeah, and Tom can, I mean, give you a list. You probably have this page printed out, right?
Not particularly now.
3.02, the subdivision plat reviews list.
I know we've had some serious pushback before from surveyors who do not want to put wastewater in because it's not their job. And maybe Matt can speak to that.
I would say Matt Reed, and surveyor. If it's proposed and it's gonna need an easement, right, to either cross somebody's property or the well's not on the lot or something like that, and it eventually needs an easement, that's usually something that I would put on there. The house site, just because it's handy later for building permits to say, yeah, they got a picture to point to. Sometimes proposed things if it's proposed underground power, unless it's going, as Jim says, going to a bunch of lots where it's gonna need easement. Going from there to the house site, pretty much self-evident, but if it's not in the ground as a surveyor, that's a lot of liability to put something that's proposed on the map. And then have it not be there when, and it's somewhere else, 20 feet away, when someone digs with an excavator. What's my liability at a proposed thing, or they go looking for this well or septic system, not there, right? That's the engineer's side. But again, only if it needs easement, would I say that's the most important part. Or if there's something complex, again, like a 5-lot subdivision, you want to know where the main underground power is feeding all this. But if there's a house and there's a pole 150 feet away, whether it gets to the house overhead or buried, or it goes around the rock or the swimming pool, and it's not in the ground already, then I don't know why I would do that. That just puts a lot of load on there.
Yeah, I mean, we generally the proposed stuff, I mean, we're more looking for stuff that's actually already in existence.
Well, but I hadn't had in this town, had to put proposed stuff on there gets changed in a subsequent wastewater permit. That's all, we want to move the well. Well, my survey is showing, and it better say the words proposed next to it on there, because that, again, it turns into a big liability when someone starts looking for that well. And it's on 6 dash numbers later in a wastewater somewhere.
So I guess I would entertain a motion for conditional approval of 2492S, conditions of abutting landowners listed in existing utilities and driveway. Oh, and true north arrow.
Make that motion. I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
Should we amend that and put a date on it? Have that information by some date, so that we don't run into dragging these conditional approvals out like we have in the past.
180 days? Is that what it is?
That would be with the survey. Next year, next month.
Works for me. That way we would have to motion to conditionally approve it again next month. If we didn't have the information.
So Jim, since you made the motion, would you be willing to have it amended for the conditional date of the next DRB hearing?
I would have the amendment, yeah.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Tom, did you get the list there?
Yeah, pretty sure.
So you're conditionally approved. Do you want this in this folder or?
Yeah, everything.
or you can take this with you?
Yeah, straighten that out.
He's taking it.
Have a copy.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right, next we have, 2494S, Northern Rivers Land Trust, Tony Smith's Land Trust. We have subdivided a 55.5 acre parcel to create a 2.1 acre lot with existing buildings and a retained parcel of 53 plus acres. No construction is planned for either parcel. See cover letter and attachment for details.
Yeah, we got, they have a plan to submit this plan.
And the letter was it in here, Tom, or is that separate?
Close letter.
It says see cover letter and attachments for details.
Well, I can tell you what the cover letter is.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. So before we get started, who do we have speaking for this? Great.
Three of us.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge and the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes.
Yeah,
You want to add anything to my really brief description?
No, I just want to give you a copy of this updated plan, sewage disposal and subdivision map that's on its way to the state today. My name is Diana Peduzzi. I'm a board member for the Northern Rivers Land Trust. This is George Putnam, who is the executor of Tony Smith's estate, and Jack Travelstead is the chairman of the board for the Northern Rivers Land Trust. Tony Smith lived in Wolcott for 50 years, and so some of you probably knew him. Died last year and left his property to the Northern Rivers Land Trust with the provision that we could subdivide off a 2 roughly acre lot, and retain the rest for hopefully for conservation. In addition to the Newtown Forest. And when Tom told me that it was going to take 45 minutes or 45 days to get a decision from you guys, I decided we needed to jump on it. We haven't had the closing yet. Northern Rivers Land Trust does not own the property, but we've been working diligently with all the different steps that have to be taken to get there. And so we're hoping for a contingent approval when we submit the final state subdivision permit and the survey, which will hopefully be within a couple of weeks. Then we were hoping we could get a permit. And the court is, hopefully going to approve the donation of the property to the land trust soon. So just wanted to get this before you so we could get moving. Be ready when it's time to have the closing. Our ideal was to get the house on the market and sold and occupied before winter. Because otherwise, we'll just have to keep monitoring it. Prefer not to do that, so. The whole issue of transferring the 53 acres to the town actually, the select board approved it last week. They're willing to accept it. But that whole process is gonna take probably another year. Because in order to conserve the property under the land trust, we have to do certain things and write certain documents. But really what we're asking for now is just a 2 acre lot. I was not aware that we were supposed to submit any adjoining landowners.
I did.
Okay, because it wasn't in any of the instructions, oh, good.
So
He's one.
Hmm?
He's one.
You're an adjoining property owner? You want one of these?
sure, I'd love to see.
And you are,
Hey, record. I live right to the north.
okay, yeah, you have the big line here.
Yeah. Is there still discussion about bike paths for there?
About getting a trail.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's why.
that'll come next year,
Okay,
to adjoin it to the, rest of the forest.
okay. Because most of it's swamp. That's why I was concerned. The old-
Right, well, it would just be, walking trail.
Okay. Not walking.
Or possibly no trails.
What are the parameters for a boundary line adjustment? And does this meet it?
Well, they own the whole property, so they're not
I understand,
a boundary to
but
neighbors.
if they're donating it to the town and it's abutting the town forest, is that not like just like myself adjusting a boundary between myself and my neighbor? That probably just messes up the timeline.
It's a possibility.
Well, I think probably gonna be talking to Vermont Housing and Conservation Board, who had a lot to do with setting up the whole town forest. And seeing if we could combine those. Yeah, I mean, there's an artificial line between. Difference.
You're talking about your line adjustment between the remaining parcel and the town's forest. Right. But this would still be a subdivision.
Well, no, that would actually be what the original lot.
After you did the adjustment.
Yeah.
Putting that in place for the subdivision.
I don't think there's any acreage required.
I
sure about.
I don't think there is.
I would hold it to go to the end.
That's
The problem. It would have to be in the town's property before you could do that. So that would slow this down to be something that would happen a year from now, not.
Right. And then they wouldn't be able to sell the 2 acres.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't really discuss with you whether anything we would need regarding the 53-acre lot.
Still do that later.
Because usually.
Well, that's still really, just, I guess it is. It's just a version. Yep.
Subdivision does so that this property is sold as soon as they have possession.
And the boundary line adjustments are pretty. Only a couple items.
Mhm.
Can't create a non-conforming lot.
Yeah.
You can't make something non-conforming.
That'd be slower.
They have to.
You need to sell.
The boundary line adjustment can happen as quick as the.
You need to sell the property right off.
Hopefully, have somebody living there.
A year before the town.
This for me.
Because they
Well,
want to.
that's one thing.
For the select board, it's putting in conservation.
Under an RLTs, yes.
Yeah. That would be your process, putting everything, all the i's crossed and t's dotted. However, we might be able to avoid that entirely with a background adjustment. We could eliminate that entire mess. It just becomes absorbed by.
You're talking the entire lot, including
No,
No,
excluding this.
excluding that. Once they close on that with a boundary line adjustment, once you close on the property, we could do a boundary line adjustment. Once the boundary line adjustment is done, would that circumvent any need to go back before any of the other conservation boards? Because it would literally, the remaining 53 acres would literally just become an addition to the Bourne parcel.
Mhm.
Could we not circumvent, but could we bypass any of that other stuff?
Well, the boundary line adjustment would still require a survey.
just of the lot. That's between the portion that's kept and the 2 acres. It would be a very simple survey.
And the lots still need to meet all the criteria and everything, which,
But remains a lot, yes.
but I wonder if that would simplify your process.
Yeah. I think we need a subdivision permit in order to have a closing, to have it legal
Okay, that's
for the
fine.
purchaser.
You can't do anything until you're on the property.
Well, right, yeah, that's why. You're happening.
So subdivision is the route then.
Hmm?
That's what they like to do.
Keep it same.
Yep.
I don't think we can have a legal sale of a property without a subdivision permit from the state and from you guys.
Yeah.
So if it is a subdivision and not a boundary line, it's the same list, existing. It looks like most of the stuff I see on here is the dwellings on here. The leach field is on here.
You were missing a couple of landowners and some road frontage.
Right.
Call them.
The proposed replacement system is here, that's a requirement of the state, of course, you know that. And a well shield, and he's juggled everything so that we couldn't get the two lines, sidelines exactly parallel because it was in the way. It still comes out to about 2 acres, 2.1 acres
And then power is, I don't see,
existing.
so that would be another thing to add to the map.
What? We had the existing septic system scoped out. And it's there and it's not failed. And it has a concrete septic tank and a concrete dry well. And we'll make sure that the surveyor gets those things when he does the survey. So it sounds like you want those on the survey too.
So say that again, which ones did you want to say?
I'm sorry?
Which ones did you say that we were looking for? Items that you said we wanted to see on the map?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
When you said the surveyor is going to add the things that we needed to see.
Oh, what you were just talking about with that guy, as far as making sure that the existing utilities are shown on the survey.
Yes, okay.
And abutting land.
I mean, this larger survey was only done in 2019. So I'm hoping that, Vermont Housing and Conservation Board won't require that it be done again, but if they do, we'll have to do it.
Does VHCB require a survey done within a certain amount of time in the past? We don't know.
They require a survey, but I don't know if there's a specific date when it has to be done.
Uh, 2019 was the most recent one by Phil Gold. Before that, there was a Fred Reed and a bunch of others.
Right.
I mean, he bought this property like 6 or 7 different lots over the years.
That's in the file for the more.
That said he wanted to make the space for the beavers to be there, right? I think that's what I remember hearing.
We walked it, it looked like they were gone.
I've heard that too.
See what they're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot.
Mhm. And this is. I'm assuming this is 334, and this is. About at least 300, slightly smaller.
Probably on top of that.
Oh, yeah, because they've got the other three numbers on here. Right, should we make a list here? What is missing, because most of it's here.
Yeah, landowners and road frontage was what I, and overhead power or whatever.
Wherever the power is. That existing spring, that's the one that serves the property.
Yes,
And then if the water line, at least an approximate of where, from the spring to the house.
yeah. Yep. Right.
Possibly. I know it's a guess, but it's on the list, so.
Oh,
Entertain a motion to conditionally approve subdivision. With the addition of. The water line. The power line. Road frontage. Abutting landowners. And an approved sale.
approve what?
The property transfer, because it's.
Once it becomes theirs.
Right.
Well, okay, I mean, hopefully that will be soon, but if something comes up and you have to issue the permit to the state, they're on there as the applicant, so. But we would rather have our name on it. What was the fourth thing you listed, road frontage and
Road frontage,
Abutting landowners.
abutting landowners.
abutting window?
So George Putnam is the estate representative. So
Is there a question if we're issuing this permit to the state as the holder of the property now? Or if we're issuing it to Northern Rivers Land Trust as when they close, then the permit becomes theirs. Is that what we're doing?
I assume the permit attaches to the land.
Right.
So at the time you issue the permit, you need to issue it to whoever owns the land.
that's right.
So
Yeah.
the state, right, for now, but soon. the Northern Rivers Land Trust. When do you anticipate issuing a permit?
I'm sorry, when?
What is the time frame for actually issuing a permit?
Well, we're talking about just issuing a conditional approval for the subdivision pending the completion of the list of items.
For the Mylar.
Of the plan. And then you have final approval later.
You have wastewater permit and a survey.
Well, yeah, the wastewater permit is separate from the town of Wolcott, so. I mean, we require, but the DRB, we can't, we don't have to do wastewater permits.
Okay.
We require reference to them based on our documents, but we have no control over them.
And Tom, whomever the property owner is at the time that the Mylar comes incomplete,
Well, we got two options here. If you're closing the hearing tonight with the conditions, you have 180 days to do it. If you want to postpone it till next month or whenever, until you own the property, that's enough.
Okay. But if everything is settled within the next month, you could issue the permit, we don't have to come back for another hearing or?
You can't come back if we close it.
Oh, okay, all right.
180 days to issue
Yeah,
the bylaw with the conditions.
okay, good.
That sound reasonable?
Mhm.
Somebody care to make the motion that I proposed?
I'll make that motion.
Are we gonna do a date on this one? Are we doing the 180?
My feeling about doing the date is it allows us to be flexible with reopening should we have to.
And that's the law, 180 days.
I know, but if we set a sunset date, say next hearing, this hearing is closed and they could reopen one. They could get a new permit number.
If you want to get a permit, you might as well just postpone it till the next time and we'll eliminate all the other
Yeah, my
trees and all that stuff.
my thought on it was it gave us a little bit more flexibility, because I know we got into trouble with these conditional approvals. I know things got complicated with conditional approvals in the past. I was just trying to avoid that.
I think that the last, when Levi was in here, I think that one, because the surveyor had already done all the work and just needed to update the plat, 30 days was reasonable. This one, they still need to get the surveyor out there.
Yeah.
So 180 days is more reasonable to get that process done.
But once we conditionally approve, we can't make, like Tom just said, the hearing is closed. There can't be any amendments. There can't be any changes. That you have to.
It's approved as long as the plat has everything that's supposed to be on.
It matches.
They have to break it into a plat.
If there's a change, yeah.
So that's the same with any sub. We got 180 days to get that plat in, and it's gotta be accurate, or else the subdivision's not applicable.
We don't need to add a date for 180 is. That's.
If you think you can have this all done.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, very good.
So we have a motion on the floor by Jim.
And I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Any nays, any abstentions?
Thank you.
Thank you guys for that work.
Yeah.
You were pretty much so the second month is the.
Here, generally, but meeting got changed next month.
So, the account for it.
Yeah, no,
That's where that would start. That discussion would happen.
the only reason I was concerned is because I want. Property, so that it's, one of those members, one of the people, as I gave. And during, there was one of the groups, I can't remember his name, but during that, there was discussion, and I was asked whether they could use my driveway as part of it. And I said I'd rather.
But you asked
that. That property is swamp. And so, and there is, my concern is the only viable place to put it back is pretty much right on my line. I'm not anti-place, I'm anti-trail, I just.
That's fair.
So, okay.
No, our next meeting is September 4th. It's a little bit off the normal schedule, it's the third Thursday. If you're interested, it's a Zoom option. Whatever, you know, it's basically, you can, you know, say, hey, this, buddy, if there's any trail discussion for this part of the parcel, please contact me and invite me to the discussion. Or if you can't make it, I'll do that because I'll be at the meeting, so.
Okay, well, I'll try and make and again, I'm not opposed, I think this is a great thing that's happening, it actually keeps people from building.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks a lot.
It's on the service.
Next up, 2496S, Mary and Lindsay Thurston. See the project description on here, I think Tom might have sent.
That's for,
Oh, okay.
that's the other one.
Yeah, that's everything. 296.
I didn't write the application, so. Speak to what was.
Okay, so I guess I'll swear folks in, you can give us the letter. So,
Matt Reed, representing.
Yeah, Aaron Thurston.
okay, do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge under the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes.
Okay, take it away. You
So,
want this?
yeah, let me get the survey open up here. I don't want to mix up your papers though. You set that stuff down there, so. Previously, previously with this project, he had built the second house over here, for Peter. We did an approved septic system, and then now what we want to do is an existing right of way here goes out to forever. Because we're gonna break off this parcel from the existing house parcel and then create this third unimproved parcel here. Now, it does meet the road frontage, requirements. And that way we have three separate lots. So this is obviously here with a home on it. This is here with a home. This could have a home in the future. And it has easement, obviously right of way on this 50-foot shared right of way and potential road frontage. 126.
So, and you're not proposing at this time that this is a road?
No,
It's just an easement.
it's just an easement this time.
This is rural residential, right? Yeah, it's like 150.
But we have a private road. If we have to, we can move this.
Where's
With this easement, the shared right of way has more than.
But it isn't a road. To be a road, it's gotta serve more than two parcels. That's the primary access.
It's serving this one already,
Yeah,
and it serves the parcel behind it.
So you'd need to go through naming and everything to get the private road designation in order for that frontage to count.
If that's what we have to do, or we can. Right here, we could adjust this line if we needed to vary that to give it.
we're getting into irrigated shapes.
So-
Well, as long as it's 150 feet wide, straight back, it would work.
Yeah, it starts to interfere with the natural natural lines of vegetation in our well right here. So we decided to make it a more, regular shape.
But again, 25 feet.
Right.
We could, if we gotta
Yeah,
go
if we
through the
needed
other
to,
process,
yeah,
we
we
can
could.
move it 25.
We could,
I mean, just to make it. Put in there, we can put an easement that says there's no clearing, no brush cutting.
Yep.
And cut it onto that strip so it can stay in the natural vegetation. So
This road's leading to what now? This is somebody else's property?
So,
Stevie.
so that goes way up there. It
Yeah.
goes all the way to the pond.
Yeah.
So,
And is that the primary access for that property?
No,
yeah, there's several ways to get to that property. That's one of them.
That was the road.
that is, they use that road
Right.
routinely.
Yeah.
There's another road, in that respect, they use that other road.
Is there language that road has to be primary access to two lots?
It's not, they're not calling it a road. This is just an easement to this
Right.
property
Right.
that Steve Young has.
But if we were to make it so this frontage would count,
Well, yes, it would have, then it would have to become a road.
And it would need to be primary access to two roads.
And it's already access to this property and it could be to this property,
Okay.
but then it has to be built to town standards and all that stuff. But
New
yes, so if you were to widen
Right here, right now, this would be the easiest option.
Yeah, okay.
another 24 feet or
Yeah.
less.
Okay. Other than that, obviously you can see the existing utilities and everything are off here. Berry power, water. What is where we think the leach fields are. And obviously it references, we did a permit for all of this here for the wastewater to cover down the permit numbers. Reference there to what we're doing, what we did with these.
Back to the shoving that boundary, just be sure that I see that the box is labeled as greenhouse. 25-foot setbacks from property limits.
Yeah, and again, some of the intention with making this site here, and hoping for an exception.
That's probably 100 feet from there.
Yeah, just.
Yeah, we could make it work. It was
We'll make
just
it
a more comfortable line, but if it needs to change it.
That's agricultural.
Oh, there you go. I read that as a house painted green.
Just make sure you don't like shrink.
I understand. Well, keep it.
But that's already curving, so.
Yeah.
It just has to maintain that 150 feet all the way back or. else
Right.
So that it's too narrow for too long.
I understand. So we're gonna do this. 150, we're gonna do covenant. Land for brush. So they can't clear it. So it ends up being something they can't do anything with any, if so, eventually on this property, so.
At this time, there's no
Structures, nothing.
proposed, so that becomes one of those.
Yeah,
things
exactly
where
what we're talking.
Yeah.
No plans for the next 3 weeks.
It doesn't matter, so I wish everybody would come out. I'm not building.
Not doing anything.
I just want to subdivide it.
These imaginary
Well,
lines to be here.
And again, as a surveyor, you have to survey what's in the field at the time. So if you know it's there or see it's there, you should be putting it on your drawing. Should be. Some proposed things with easements, but you should be, if you see it or witness it, and you're supposed to do it, always within for a certain surveyed level is 25 feet. So most of us all look at what's within 25 feet of the boundary line, take shots on it, because it's a reference for one, when somebody's walking the property. Two is we're checking for encroachments the whole time you're walking around. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. Someone's power line, I think, crosses this corner or something like that. Like that could be a potential encroachment that we have to notify the landowner. Or in the case I just did, I had to tell the landowner who's paid me that his place was on somebody else's land. So, that's a tough one, but at least we know, right?
The landowners are there. I mean, that's really all we're missing is the 150.
I think so. We've got that all the way around. It's in here, we've got a scale or arrow. I do have a statement, I don't know if anybody saw this, I think, did you get the email from the abutting landowners? It was.
Here's to see what's going on.
So it's from Rick Drew.
Yeah.
Is a copy of that in here?
Yes.
The copy of his letter
Yeah.
that he emailed, I just told him I would enter it into record. Oh, right here.
Where does it? See on that piece.
Richard Drew. Unless it's a new land. So. Oh.
Matt, do you know where Richard Drew?
I mean, when I did the ones across the road, I do who's listed currently. You know what I mean, on the tax map
He
over
said he's
here.
on the property, on this letter he sent, you said he's on the property for what, 20? I've my purchase and retention of the property for over 20 years. He's listed as 588 Keeler Pond Road.
So he's saying he owns your house?
Right, let me read this letter. Just so you know,
It's to the east side of 580.
oh, okay.
Okay, so this, as far as I know, is Gordon's property.
Right.
So you said across the road.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it shows.
It could be.
Could be one that's
Yeah,
down
it could
here.
be the large lot next to Kate.
So is he,
Yes, that's how that shows. It's,
is he in a butter?
it's, I mean,
You got notified.
technically,
It's over here.
yeah, if this is the lot we're discussing.
Yeah.
So
So it's this lot.
this lot,
No, it said that to be in the butter.
Well, you said there's notified, he was notified.
Yeah, Tom wants to know that, yeah.
Yeah, here he is, right here.
Inches, if these maps are accurate.
Right.
Parcel and the number and.
Okay, well, let's see that.
He says, my name is Richard Drew and I own the vacant land across the street to the east side of 588 Keeler Pond Road. I was recently notified of the upcoming subdivision hearing for 588 Keeler Pond Road. While I have not spent much time in Wolcott recently, the property remains of significant importance to me. The natural beauty, rural character, and conservation-minded efforts in the area are key reasons for my purchase and retention of the property for over 20 years. Unfortunately, I'm unable to attend the subdivision review meeting this Wednesday. Please accept this email read up as my record of participation at the meeting and have it read to the public record for comment. I do understand and recognize the importance of family planning and real property rights. I also understand that the applicant is within the prescribed guidelines for lot size and road frontage within the town of Wolcott, Vermont. I appreciate the thoughtful approach to the application. I do see from the subdivision map that lot number 3 is a flag lot, which may help protect and maintain a partial vista of the beautiful meadow that is a key feature of the subject property. While 3-acre lots are generous by many community standards, Wolcott is still mostly rural area with larger lots. The properties surrounding 588 Keeler Pond Road are typically 5 acres or greater, as documented by the Wolcott, Vermont website parcel viewer when referring to subject property. Also, there's a great deal of work past and present going on to protect local properties and related natural resources. As a result of these many considerations, I would respectfully ask the applicant, please consider designing a common driveway access off and onto Keeler Pond Road for lots 2 and 3 that splits off somewhere back / away from the roadside to service each respective lot. This would prevent what I have seen happen in other growing communities, which is a driveway ribboning effect on beautiful parcels that detracts from the vista, creates a suburban look to the neighborhood, and is a poor use of roadside frontage. This would help to protect the beautiful views of the meadow and make for safer roadside access. Wolcott, due to its natural beauty and rural character, will continue to grow over the coming years, and small but thoughtful considerations like this one will have a big impact on the future of our special community. I hope to visit Wolcott later this year and would welcome to the opportunity to meet my neighbors and speak in person. Until then, I am available anytime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to discuss or text on this project or any related local matters in the Wolcott community. Includes its contact information. Richard Drew. It sounds like you kind of did what he was hoping you would do, right?
Well, I mean, obviously Wolcott has a minimum acres of 2 acres. So, you know, that's the standard, whatever it maybe look like in the neighborhood, that's what the rule is. And as far as the driveway access goes, that was kind of the plan, but you know, we have to still give it the 150 feet of road frontage as the contingency because we haven't gone through the rest of that process. But there's nothing stopping them in the future from accessing it from either way. I mean, with the way the law is written now. They can either come from Gila Pond Road, or they could come from the private shared access to get to the property.
Oh, so he's asked, when he says consider a common driveway that leaves Keeler Pond Road for 2 and 3 that splits off somewhere away from the roadside.
He's basically just saying.
So when it splits, so have one access that splits, not as the road.
Right.
And as a part of our driveway permit application before the select board, we would encourage you to do that anyway.
Right, okay, that's,
That doesn't, yeah, that doesn't negate the 150.
It wouldn't be required.
No, but we would encourage that.
Yes, absolutely. You want a motion?
I have looked at everything we need to look at this.
I would make the motion that we accept the application as presented with the conditions of increasing the road frontage from lot 3 to 150 feet minimum. And maintaining the lot shape required.
I'll second.
any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I'll shoot you a copy of that first, yeah, so you can see it. I'll deliver it to my wife or give it to you.
Thanks for that.
Yep.
That neighbors information is public record. Is that something we have, I could put back if it's recorded to get his info? I like it.
Tom can probably, or somebody can make a photocopy or, contact.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to my neighbor. I've never met him, so yeah.
It's that folder right there. I think it's right, it's right there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Anybody else needs a quick breath of fresh air? 3 or 4 minutes. No. Ready to power on through?
Yeah, wait, sign in. Get the list. Sign, yeah.
Well, we could probably get started until like 1/4 after, so.
Small, Just be the actual lot.
Okay, now it's the
Small lots.
so this is the. The line of the large one. 103 feet, 132 feet. Like that line right there is 130. Oh, okay. Right, we got everybody. Right, we are opening 2494S, Peter Inlander, Berlotti, plat review 2 lots, draft plan shows 1 lot. Who's going to be speaking this evening? You swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge and the pains and penalties of perjury. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So this one is pretty standard. I know the drawing is kind of hard to get to really long lot. So it comes off the front here. This is a existing road frontage. So if you go up there, they did a long time ago, they did a driveway permit and a building permit for up in here a long time ago. There was a camp lot here that was joined to be joined into this because it breaks up the road frontage in a silly little lot. And that's gonna be joined, and then the other half, the other part of that is they own another strip of land the same width approximately here, but it is separate in title. So we're just breaking off this, and the acreage of this is because of the land use had already excluded this acreage or to be, for land use for construction or whatever they want to do.
Oh, I think when you're not UVA,
But
for UVA program.
yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's already, this is it. We might have gone with maybe more land or something else, but we went
It's
with
just
this
over the
acreage.
2 acre minimum and it ended up being 3.
Yeah. So, and to comply with that, the septic system was already designed well previous down here, so we're gonna have to do an easement for maintenance. But we do meet this frontage here, I guess I could put, that's right there, 271 feet of road frontage here to still access the rest of the lot. And this lot. If you drove up there, you would see that once you get past this point and get to this driveway, the way that this lot works out, it just is the best fit. And this still is kind of flat access to go in.
Where's your house in relation to this, Pete? Is that a different lot?
Yes.
Okay.
It's down here. So if you. This power line, so his house is actually down like.
Okay, so it's
In this.
completely different.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Completely different lot. And this goes all the way to the Hardwick line.
So this isn't on Marsh.
No, it's
No,
not at all.
that's-
So once you take the turn onto Simmons, it's on your right hand
Yep.
side.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Pete's house, when you turn on to Simmons, is down here. The sharp corner, as you come up around Simmons, Pete and Linda's place is down here. And then you come up and there was an old abandoned camp. Right in this area, and then this driveway is obviously.
That's what you're calling the camp
The
lot.
camp lot. But to make this work, we're going to join the camp lot with the rest of this lot, and we get that road frontage back.
And so the boundary line adjustment that's in the works, as that's,
Well, that's just gonna be, we're gonna join it in deed. I didn't think we would need
I
to.
don't think you need that boundary line adjustment. This is
Yeah, they just have to
It's a
write a
merger.
deed to merge their lots.
boundary line adjustment is between two different owners.
If they got this at a separate parcel. it's not put it together.
Right. As you can see, I drew where the stuff was, the spring and all the stuff that's in. The building site here, but I didn't know where we're gonna bring power, so I didn't draw it. For the meeting tonight, if it's not there.
Yeah. So P is the adjoining land. So. Hardwick.
oh, you're saying, yeah, this was the line.
It's Hardwick, yeah.
Right here.
And it's like half a mile back.
And usually with a survey, obviously not to encumber a landowner with a high expense. When you're breaking off a small portion from a larger portion, you don't have to survey the rest of it.
We have. Waived that.
Yeah, I mean, that would just break some people.
As long as they got enough.
Financially,
information
right, yeah.
Here.
And that's why I referenced where it's coming from, down the road and then where it ties into the other properties.
What's this here?
So that's their wastewater system for this. Back in the day, when they came up here, they were all friends and they built these houses. Well, this then wastewater system ended up being Pete's land.
If you're
When
coming
they
in
had bought it,
right at the where
the original
Marsh Road
landowner,
takes
so
that left.
years ago before it was sold,
It should be right up.
we did this adjustment.
Where Simmons
And
Road.
so the system would be on their own land.
Oh, it's up, it's past this.
I think so. See where that curl is in
Yeah,
Simmons
because I'm
Road?
looking, this is Marshall here,
No.
No,
That's-
yeah, that's not.
So you come up Marsh Road and then it takes a harsh left. And then it's on the right hand side before it does a harsh right and goes into class 4.
right?
The little fountain
Now-
goes up there.
You see
Yes.
This is the existing
So
driveway.
in this big jump here.
Okay. Oh, here's the pond, okay.
Really.
Right, so the tax map is not showing that it's actually 2 separate lots and it's not showing the
Where
camp lot.
Yes, maybe.
So this is where they live right now.
Yes,
Okay, and then
right.
That's the existing driveway, so that,
No,
no?
no, that's another house.
Oh,
So this is the existing driveway
Oh, I
right
see.
there.
um,
And then, yeah, that's the site, right?
okay.
And then if you,
And this
zoom out,
goes-
the camp is right there.
Oh, I see.
So if you look at his, he's got the version of the tax map, but it's missing the dividing line, it's missing the camp lot being separate.
Right.
But-
Yeah, this is just the Google satellite.
Right.
Oh, and there's, that's the town line right there.
Right. Yeah,
okay.
you can see it.
Oh, yeah, so it's fine.
Yeah. front rows.
And going from Simmons Road to Bunker Hill is not an easy task. It's a lot better to go down to Route 15 and go back up.
Well, I've run through there. I don't think I would really drive through there unless I needed to.
Yeah, Ike LaFountain is probably the last driveway that's kind of decent on there. I think.
Just wait for it.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, it's been a while.
See anything missing here?
The property is located on the east side of Simmons Road. My property's on the west side. I always have to tell a little story. First of all, we're all friends with the applicant. So
So you're Steve?
I'm looking for a little information.
Steven or Dan?
I'm Dan.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're over there.
So this one fine day, about a month and a half. My wife and 2 granddaughters are outside. Some strange guys walking around their property.
I introduced myself.
After they spotted you walking around. But anyway, what I'm getting at is this fine fella said, I'll send you a certified copy of the site survey and stuff, and where you can put your septic if it fails. I've yet to see that, and that's the only reason I'm here.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be surprised later.
So actually what happened was, is I went up there and how we got to it, I talked to your wife, right?
Yeah.
And I asked her where her septic system was, because I had to do the engineering for this to see where the overshadow might be. Doesn't limit where you put your stuff, it just limits where, what we could have done here with the water source. But when I drew it up and looked at the topography, it didn't have any overshadowing when it went onto your property. So that's why I said if I needed to send something, I would send her a certified letter or something. And it would have the picture on it saying, hey, this is an overshadowing zone, but it doesn't overshadow onto that property at all. So I didn't need to send the certification.
Well, we're sitting there waiting for somebody to tell us where we're gonna put our 35-year-old.
Yeah, I wasn't, so I guess it was a misunderstanding. I don't tell you where to put it. It just would have, I don't know if you've seen the certificate, those maps that have the overshadowing. So you've got to kind of draw circles around wells and stuff. And if it goes onto your property and it could inhibit where you could do something, then you certainly would call me or the state engineer and say, hey, this is a problem, but this one doesn't inhibit anything that you would do from septic or well. That's why you didn't get anything in the mail, is because it does not overshadow up there and cause any
Fair enough. I'm just waiting for this report.
Yeah, no.
That's why I'm here. You hate to find out later.
Yeah.
Some engineers.
No.
tell you gotta put a $30,000.
No, like I said, I told her if it did, because that's why I needed to know where your leach field was, because I didn't want to cause more harm to your property than possible. That's all, and that's why I came out, I said, where's your well? I needed to know where that stuff was, and since I did interfere with it, then you guys are pretty much wherever you gotta put a replacement or whatever you gotta do.
It's gonna be more than a couple hundred feet from the water system entrance. So.
Right, well, it's, no matter where it goes, it would never be close enough because it would have been found out the other way. We draw the picture both ways, so. Okay.
Well,
Yeah. So Matt, on this map, like this, obviously this is way over here, is this?
No, no, it's gonna happen.
No, but he's talking about this. Of course, we don't have a lot of copies of the septic plans here.
He's learning.
This spring, right here, gets 150-foot circle downhill. Like that's, and then it's a 500-foot circle uphill. But when it hits like this focal line, you start following. And then when it hits this one, you start following. This one happened to do a teardrop.
Charlie's-
Where I was concerned with his place up here, because his leach field's like over here. I was concerned that the teardrop was gonna have his leach field in it and we couldn't use the spring. So, but it didn't. The teardrop stayed on this side of the road and it actually stopped. You have to see how we draw it. It's like how the marble rolls concept. And it didn't interfere with him, but I had spoken with his wife and said that if it did, and no overshadow was there, they would get a certified letter from, just so they wouldn't be shocked, but they didn't need to. No.
I see you guys.
Yeah. So sorry about the confusion.
Just, you know, when somebody's walking around the property, it'd been nice to ring the bell first.
I thought I did. I thought I walked down the driveway, but
No harm,
maybe
no-
she didn't see me do that. So,
I
okay.
wasn't there, so.
Yeah. So anyway, they get these overshadowed, and like this one overshadows downhill 200 feet, uphill 100, and it's kind of shaped, and there's a shape to this one. And his, where it is in the woods, I was starting to get a little nervous because I'm like, ooh, that's across the road. I end up, and a spring is a big overshadow. It's big. 500 feet is a lot. So anyway, but it didn't get onto there. And people, when they get that overshadowing notice, you've got a 1 acre lot, they're like, hey, this encumbers half of my lot. They call the state says, okay, I'll agree with the landowner saying, hey, we're screwing up their lot, but I've also got one right now where literally I ran the overshadowing, I knew, into wetland. They're never going to put a septic system down. And the gentleman called to complain. And it was probably, I want to say 2 square feet onto his property, and the state just overrode. They were like, first come, first serve. It's wetland, you know, you're never gonna put anything out there. So the state can override those. But certainly.
Connecticut.
What's that?
That's the guy.
Yeah.
Called me like 6 times.
But we're working on that one. We're moving the well location. We're gonna make it. And in that case, we're also I'm gonna ask him to write a letter saying that he's not allowing overshadow on his property, and that, and vice versa. He's not gonna ever overshadow onto the neighbors. So that just could limit him to building septic systems 200 feet from the road. So anyway, that's what he's here for. His system's up here. Satisfied with that? Okay.
Make a motion that we accept this subdivision application with number 2494S as presented on sketch plan.
Well, I don't turn in the final Mylars here because I end up printing another one and bringing it back every time.
So that we would just call this a copy of the Mylar then.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
Yeah,
make any-
it contingents that there's no changes to it.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? I'd like to have at least one condition, but I can't think of any, so. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
What we have now is better than a condition. He can never say again that he has to submit 2 Mylars.
All right, thank you.
Not, so the pins. That I'm looking at, and I don't have anything.
Then I'll just-
Old minutes.
So it depends on 2 weeks. The reason I do that is
The one that we approved just now was from July 23rd. I don't know. I think we saw.
So, and they don't mind if I had to issue something.
Okay. Those are all signed.
Are they, Tom?
It's a problem.
In terms of prior minutes, I have they all been approved when we had forum.
Okay.
So this,
So she
so this is the only one to look at, is this one. Right.
But I'm gonna record, set the pins, I'll record my alarm. So a couple weeks.
All right, then I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Alright.
So we go ready to go. Goes to Angela, if that's who you.
Yeah. And Angela, I'm gonna have her. Obliterate the,
Yeah, they can.
the lines.
That needs to, it's a component,
Yes. Yeah,
because that way we get the road.
yeah.
So she doesn't have to do anything until